Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
A very good morning to one and all. This is me, Husna, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the online inaugural function of the 1 week online faculty development program on 3D printing and design, sponsored by AICTE Training and Learning Academy, which is being conducted from the 8th to the 12th of November. 3D printing is one of the most important technological advancement in additive manufacturing, which has been implemented and recognized as a part of modern industry, as it has many advantages over conventional approaches. In today's world, the applications of 3D printing are very useful for research and development of various components, ranging from simple structures used in everyday life to complicated components used in different industries. This program is thus designed for a better understanding about what 3D printing is, the different techniques involved in it, and its wide range of applications. Gracing us with his presence, our chief guest for today is Dr. Arun K. Tiwari. He served as a missile scientist in DRDO, significantly contributing to India's military missile development effort. He was also a member of the advisory team to the President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Apart from this, he is an articulate writer who has written several books and co authored 5 books with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He currently teaches at the School of Management Sciences, University of Hyderabad as an adjunct professor and is also the secretary of CARE Foundation and the Platinum Jubilee Mentor of CSIR IICT. We also have with us Principal, College of Engineering, Osmania University, Professor Sriram Venkatesh. He's got 26 years of experience in teaching. He's been the director for product design, development, and additive manufacturing, Osmania University, since 2009. He has published about 110 papers in various international and national journals and conferences. He's also got a rich experience in many research and consultancy projects in 3D printing. I welcome you all, sir, to this training program. Now, I request Professor Suman, Head of BME Department, Osmani University, to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Husna. Hello. Am I audible, Husna? Hello?
Suman, sir?
Yeah, Husna. Hello?
Your audio is very low.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, Husna. Sorry for the delay. There is some technical error. So, very good morning to all the members. Respected Chief Guest, Professor Arun K. Tiwari, uh, the President of the event, Professor Sriram Venkatesh sir, the Principal of the University College of Engineering, Professor M. Malni, the coordinator of the Atal FDP program, and all the faculty members, staff, and all the members who are attending this event from different parts of the country. I welcome you all for this 1 week Atal FDP sponsored by AICT on 3D printing and its applications. Before I discuss about the event, I'll just briefly give an introduction to the biomedical engineering department because most of the members are from different parts of the country. To tell about the department, the biomedical engineering department was started way back in the year 1982. In fact, it is the first university, Usmania University is the first university to start the biomedical engineering course at the undergraduate level. And we have started this course in the year 1982 with an intake of 10 students. And later, the strength was increased to 30 in the year 1993, and we have a separate department status in the year 1996. And in fact, we have even started the PG program in biomedical electronics in the year 2006. Currently, we are also offering the PhD program in biomedical engineering, both in part-time as well as in full-time. And currently, we have about 12 students who are pursuing their PhD program. And the department has received various research grants from DST, UGC, and in fact, we are also one of the members of the UP University with Potential for Excellence, which was awarded the status to the Osmania University. Biomedical Engineering Department was also one of the active member of that particular UP status of the Osmania University. And our BE program, Bachelor of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering program, has been accredited by National Board of Accreditation for 6 years with effect from 2019. In fact, among all the departments of the University College of Engineering, Biomedical Engineering Department has got 6 years. And we have a Biomedical Instrumentation Center that was established in the year 1994, which caters to the calibration and maintenance, troubleshooting of the medical equipment in hospitals. During this COVID-19 period, we have extended our service to various hospitals. In fact, some of the agencies who are manufacturing ventilators, we assisted them for calibration, as well as we have assisted T-Works as well as Meda Servo Drives, who have developed ventilators, and we assisted them in the quality assurance of the ventilators. So in fact, it is a proud moment, and due to this COVID-19 pandemic, we are having this program in online. And this particular program, Atal FDP, was sponsored by ASCTE, and we planned the lectures from both academia as well as from the industry persons. I wish that the keynote address, which would be given by our Professor Arun K. Tiwari, he has vast experience in different fields, not only in mechanical. He, in fact, one of the stent he actually designed with Dr. Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, which is a well-known thing, Kalam Raju stent. So his keynote address will add value to this particular course. And among the other guests, our guest of honor, Professor Sriram Venkatesh sir, in fact, he is a pioneer and he is a very good researcher in this particular field, 3D printing. In fact, he is the first person to establish this rapid prototyping center in the Osmania University. In fact, it is of a state-of-the-art technology which we have in our University College of Engineering. His experience would definitely give a much-needed trust and much-needed exposure to all the participants. I wish that all the participants will gain sufficient knowledge which will be useful for their academia as well as research. I wish all the members to have a fruitful sessions and fruitful enriched knowledge in the coming 5 days. Thank you. I wish all the best for the coordinator as well as the event organizer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor M. Malini, the course coordinator, to brief us about the ATIL AICT course on 3D printing and design. Ma'am.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Respected Professor Arun K. Tiwari sir, Professor Sriram Venkatesh sir, Dr. Suman, and all the participants and my dear colleagues. Yeah, it is a proud moment for me to be the coordinator of this particular Atal FDP program. And as Husna has already given the importance of
Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am.
Yeah, 3D printing is not new as we think, but it has started way back in 1980s. But the impetus given is in the recent few years, especially with the its applications in medical field. we are having its impact really seen. And among the speakers of the FDP this week, we also have two doctors who are actually using 3D printing in their regular work daily routine. Also, we have a few experts drawn from industry who are the actual CEOs of a company, iMake, and also Anatomize 3D. So we have these persons who will be giving us lectures because they are in the field. And we also have few experts drawn from academia who will be giving different applications of 3D printing. And coming to this particular Atal program, as you all know, AICT is mainly committed to the development of quality technical education, and and this FDP, Atal FDP, is an initiative of AICTE to actually train the trainers. So it is aimed at training the faculty so that they can train the students. As we all know, especially in India, we have so many unemployed youth, and if we look for any job to be done, we don't find the required people. So in order to bridge the gap, we are going to focus on skill development. So if we can provide the necessary skills, so this is going to definitely bridge the gap between these two aspects. So this is a very good initiative by the AICTE, and I also we also have the participants from a variety of backgrounds. So I am sure the participants are going to gain some knowledge, and definitely it is going to be useful for their research work. And we have an illustrious chief guest with us, as Suman has already told, with a rich experience in a variety of fields. So he is going to give us some key directions for us, especially for the biomedical engineers to work. Okay, and Professor Sriram Venkatesh, our principal, is also well versed in 3D printing and rapid prototyping. I think these two have added some glory to this particular inaugural session. I welcome you, sir, and I think this is my privilege to be a coordinator of this Atal FDP. Thank you, Husna.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor Sriram Venkatesh, the principal of UCEOU, to address the gathering. Sir.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. Respected our illustrious person, Professor Arun Tiwari Garu. Actually, some time back, myself and Dr. L. Shivaram Krishna met him regarding the 3D printing only.
Yes, sir.
We are happy to see you, sir, after a long time. And the head of the department, Dr. Suman, and the course coordinator, Professor Malini Madam. Actually, this is the FDP program, first, I think, in the biomedical engineering. And we have finished 2 programs with a similar title, Atal FDP on 3D printing and design by mechanical engineering department, Dr. L. Shivaram Krishna, coordinator, and myself also involved in that 2 programs. This is the 3rd program we are completing from the college. So before, I think this is a subject of interdisciplinary mechanical engineering, biomedical engineering, and even all other departments also. So recently, we have introduced an open elective, that is 3D printing technology. So the 3D printing technology, actually, I opted for the students of other than mechanical engineering. So there were actually 60 plus students from civil engineering opted, and biomedical, I think some students, CSC some students, electrical some students, EC some students. But more interestingly, civil engineering students have opted almost 60 students. Total, I think 73 students were there in the open elective. This is very, very emerging and important technology. And we thank the MHRD Government of India. The Osmania University has been sanctioned RUSA, that is the Rashtriya Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. So in English now, it is the National Higher Education Mission. Government of India, Ministry of HRD initiative. Under that, no, because of Osmania has got A+ grade by NAC with a CGPA of 3.52. So in the country, only 10 universities have been selected for RUSA under component 4. Component 4 is nothing but quality and excellence in select state universities. So under that, we have been sanctioned 100 crores, and the remaining 7 crores is for faculty development, 100 crores for overall development of the university. So having experience in the 3D printing area since 2008, so myself applied for Center of Excellence in that RUSA. So now, earlier the center was upgraded to now Center for Product Design, Development and Additive Manufacturing, CPDDAM, and by adding 3 more missions with the help of RUSA funding. So almost 6 crores have been sanctioned to the center, and it has been inaugurated by Sri Naveen Mittalji and Honorable Vice Chancellor in the last month. It is housed in the TDC building of this University College of Engineering. So I think biomedical engineering students also are coming forward to take some help in doing their research work, even BE project research work. And the center is being established under RUSA funding, but the participating departments are both biomedical engineering department and mechanical engineering department. So biomedical engineering department also, Dr. Suman is also involving, and after Professor Venkateshwar Rao retired, Dr. Suman is also engaged in the activities of CPDDAM. So that is very, very important thing. And most of the cases now, most of the applications, if you look at, the more than 50% applications are from biomedical engineering department. So the doctor from Warangal, the Guardian Hospital, we have built a hip joint. They have estimated that why the bone is decaying. So they did not understand why bone is decaying. And after 3D printing, so original bone and after erosion, they came to the conclusion that this was due to the TB. Similarly, we have developed the skull for the care hospital patients and also pioneer dental hospitals, and most of them are coming forward to see the 3D printing facilities and also building the implants with the plastic. So recently, we have built one scaffolding structure for the Bangalore doctor and dental doctor, and we are also working on some important thing is like artificial heart. So that is going on, and this is the actually research area where we are engaged. But all four research scholars with the funding from RUSA, 35,000 rupees per month. They are working in the center, and two machine operators also there. So interestingly, we have procured a metal 3D printer. So metal 3D printer is imported from Germany, Lubeck, and it is SLM 280. And this machine we are widely using for not only for BEME projects, defense DRDO also, they have approached us. So we have quoted some price, and they are also into the facilities, we are extending facility to them for aerospace and defense applications. So these are some of the highlights about the center. But coming to the college, we have 6 programs, PG programs. The college is established in 1929 after 12 years of establishment of the Usman University. That is, the Usman University is established in 1917, and after 12 years, the engineering college is established with the beginning of civil engineering department. Later on, 5 programs have been added. That is mechanical, electrical, ECE, CSE, BME. So recently in 2021, after a gap of almost 30-40 years, we have added BE in ANML, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, and also BE Mining Engineering. So these 2 programs have been added recently with effect from this academic year, 21-22. And also the University College of Engineering has been executed TechCube, Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, around 40.68 crores of projects, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. we have executed successfully, and 3 crores of rupees worth of R&D projects through UGC, DST, CERN, Spark are ongoing. So this is actually very interesting part of thing, that is our faculty are engaged in R&D activities apart from their teaching. So because of RUSA also, we have been sanctioned around 12 crores to the college for infrastructure and setting up of centers of excellence. One is on 3D printing, other one is cyber security, cyber law, other one is A&ML, and one more mini center in the college. So these are the some of the highlights of um, the profile of this college. And 3D printing anyway. I think all 5 days of the lectures, and if you want to see, okay, if it is a virtual one, we can't. But otherwise, if there is a possibility of looking at the center, so we are ready to show to the take them to the 3D printing center, or otherwise the virtual videos also available. We will play to showcase the facilities available at our center. So we have almost 5 printers are there. One is metal, remaining is two is liquid based, other one is two powder based, one is solid based powders. And so Dr. Suman also knows. Professor Malini also are welcome to see on the lab, and also if any session is free, we would like to give a demo, live demo on various missions. I don't know whether slot is available or not, but anyway, but it's an interdisciplinary research we have to take. And biomedical engineering is from the beginning, no, they are actually forefront in the innovation and incubation. So 5, 6 ideas also incubated, and I'm after taking charge as a principal, no, I'm going to encourage all the faculty students who are engaged in innovation and research. Definitely they will be given some incentives or awards. So we thank the AICT for sanctioning such a program to our institution, and also the congratulate Professor Malini for taking initiative to apply this wonderful program, which is useful to the not only students but for the society, particularly in healthcare industries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll definitely thanks for the offer. We'll definitely try to include the virtual session of your lab. Okay, we'll sort out in a day or two, and we'll let you know the exact timing so that we can have that session too. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our chief guest, Dr. Arun K. Tiwari, Secretary, Care Foundation and Platinum Jubilee Mentor, to give the keynote address. Sir, please.
Good morning to everyone. It's a great moment for me to meet my friends, Professor Sriram, Professor Malini, Professor Suman. It's a wonderful feeling, and I must express that first. See, these days I am not going anywhere because I have some cardiac problem, and I'm not able to move out of my house. So a few days back, I was particularly low and wondering what can be done. And suddenly I got the mail from Suman, and that is how you are always taken care of. So for me to participate in this event is a wonderful experience, and I'm starting by sharing my happiness and the importance of this kind of an interaction. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I worked in missile program. And my good fortune was that at a very young age, I was spotted by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and he mentored me. Then in 1992, when he became the chief of DRDO and moved to Delhi, he told me that you should come out of the missile program and gave me a bigger responsibility of interacting with the medical experts and try to do some indigenous products and technologies which are affordable. We selected some 5 areas, and one of that became a success, that is the coronary stent. The Defense Metallurgical Research Laboratory in Hyderabad, Dr. Venugopal Reddy, he made the alloy which essentially must not have any traces of delta ferrite, because blood in the artery is very rich in oxygen, and if there is any trace of delta ferrite is there, corrosion will take place. That was the challenge. So once that metal was made, making a stent was not a big deal. Now it created a sensation because even things like bone plate and screws, they have been imported from foreign countries. So making a stent which goes inside the coronary artery was sensational in 1995. And I received with Dr. Somaraju, the cardiologist, both of us were given the DRDO award for 1997 with the hands of Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And today, when I am talking in this forum, AICT Atal Faculty Development Program, I have a very good feeling of remembering Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee also. I could stand in front of him because of the work done of making a coronary stent. So it is eventually your work, what work you do, that decide your place in this world. Not your family, not your children, not the position you occupy. I mean, this world is move very fast. Today somebody is sitting in some position, yesterday somebody sat on the same position, tomorrow somebody else will sit on that position. And as a teacher, all of you must be knowing that every year different students sit in the class. Only you are the constant factor there. So life is changing. So in this changing life, that good work which has been done, it becomes your identity, and people love you, people respect you for that kind of work. So this is the very important thing to understand, that why we remember only Dr. Kalam. There have been so many presidents, there have been so many chiefs of DRDO. We don't remember them, but we remember Dr. Kalam because he left behind the good work for everybody for which he is remembered. So I dedicate this today's lecture to the memory of Dr. Kalam, and request to show the slide number 1. Who is handling slides, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Harish is doing that. He'll do that, sir.
Yeah. So, as you can see, the biggest thing which has happened when the new millennium start is the convergence of info, bio, nanotechnologies and cognitive science. This is an event which to me marked the beginning of the third millennium. And information technology, everybody is experiencing it. Your mobile phone is a big computer. You can do, I mean, you are not even using 2% of the capacity of the mobile phone which you are carrying. And this lecture is possible because of this virtual environment, virtual ecosystem. And coupled to that, the nanotechnology, we are able to see almost everything at the nano scale. The coronavirus pandemic, within months, picture of the coronavirus was shown. I mean, everybody knows now. My grandson, who is 9-year-old, he knows what is coronavirus. Because of the nanotechnology, because of the convergence of the technology, that there is a spike, and that spike is called corona, and there are 3 folds in that: S1 protein, S2 protein. All these things are possible to know that because of the convergence of the technology. I have also attended the one very nice workshop organized by the Department of Biomedical Engineering, Osmania University, about the neural signal processing. So somehow this department is blessed with some of the very nice teachers and some of the very open-minded students. This combination, some blessings are there, and as the convergence of the technology is progressing, this department always, I find, that it is handling with those frontier areas of whatever is happening around them. So coming back to the topic of today, in 2014, we were fortunate to have Dr. Kalam come to the Biomedical Engineering Department. Kindly show the slide number 2. And he is with the interacted with all the students. It was a festival like a day, and on that day, Dr. Krishna Ella was present, who is the chairman and managing director of Bharat Biotech. Today, you all know him because of the Corona Covaxin, which has been developed by his company. And we also had that day Dr. Varshney, Rajiv Varshney from ICRISAT, who is considered as one of the top scientists in the world as far as the genetics of the seeds are concerned, seeds and plants. So both these people and Dr. Kalam were there in the department on the 1st August 2014, and this picture is taken on that day, and I fondly remember that occasion. And it really, I mean, it gave a goosebump feeling that we have been a part of this beautiful journey. Coming to the topic of the day, as you very rightly pointed out, that it is called additive technology, additive manufacturing. On the layer by layer, you keep on depositing the different atoms, and I have been to the facility in Osmania University, as Professor Sriram mentioned, and that time it was not for the metals. Now it is for metals also, and now the trend is that we have to take it to the cellular level, where we can handle the live cells, and we deposit it on different kind of scaffoldings, and so that we can make tissues, and we can make the replacement of damaged areas. The big possibilities is there. So next is going to be the BioLink, and I request for the third slide. You see, there are multiple areas, and medical application of 3D printing, possibilities are immense. You can prototype, which you are already doing. You can manufacture the implants. You can use it for the pharmaceutical development. Exactly one tissue you can generate and subject it for the particular interactions of the pharmaceutical agent which you want to study. I have one friend, I will be introducing him to you. He is working on these kind of tissues, And you have the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research, NIPER, in Hyderabad. I have spoken to the director of NIPER, Dr. Sashibala Singh, and very soon I will be connecting both of them with you, and we will be launching something interesting in that area. In 1970, if I look back, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration in the United States, popularly known as NASA, they have articulated on the different technology readiness levels. See, technology is not some end product. Technology is a process, like a tree. Ariji, you can show the next slide. And there are 7 stages, and starting from basic principles, understanding of basic principles, which we have already into that basic principle stage at this point of time as far as the 3D printing is concerned, or additive manufacturing, whatever you want to call it. And then the technology concept and application is formulated, where I am going to use it. I think we have crossed that TRL 2 also. Technology readiness level 2 also, we have already achieved. The third thing is laboratory testing of prototype components or processes. That has already started. Some work has already been done. And now in the next 2 to 3 years, the center at the Osmania University is going to get into some very specific and real life collaborations, and we will be the first in the country, as we are celebrating. I mean, we are remembering with reverence that the first coronary stent was made by Dr. Kalam and Dr. Somaraju. Similarly, some names will always be engraved in history, that first time this particular prototype, this particular implant, this particular tool, this particular tissue, this particular pharmaceutical validation and experimental technique has been developed by at the Osmania University in year 2022, 23, 24, 25. I mean, this is the time when this kind of milestones we have to be, we will be creating. Then comes the laboratory testing of integrated system. In that stage, these products and implants become the part and parcel of the patients, and they become the clinical practice. I think this is the sum and substance and the goal as far as the department and the center is concerned. And beyond that, industry steps in. And beyond that, department cannot really go forward, and industry has to come. Industry has to come, investment has to come, and later in the towards the later stage of the lecture, I am going to touch upon that point. So coming to the next point, next slide you can put. As Malini ji has observed, additive manufacturing was first developed in 1980s, and it involves taking a digital model or blueprint of the subject that is then printed in successive layers of an appropriate material to create a new version of this object. It was initially used to develop computer hardware and later become the axis of prototype development in the industry. There is no industry in which 3D printing is not used today. So I have particularly selected this diagram to give you an idea that first you have to reach this stage where exactly what you want to achieve as far as the body parts, tissues, bones, joints, filaments, ligaments, all these things. There are so many things in body. Don't jump on to organ. First let us talk about tissues. First let us talk about small bones. So all these things, first you have to make a model, and that is the first stage, which almost we have reached that stage. Only thing is now we have to quantify. This is pancreas, this is kidney, this is the lung. So this is how we have to get into the elementary level prototyping. 3D printing has many functions in a variety of industries, and there are three main applications I can see in the medical field. One is to improve the lives of those reliant on the prosthetic limbs, then to produce specialized surgical tools, and to provide neuroanatomical models for complex surgeries. As on today, with the metal 3D printing already available in the center, all we need to do is get into some 2-3 techno-commercial agreements and make sure that in all these three categories, the prosthetic limb, surgical tool, and the neuroanatomical model, we deliver few products, publicize them, make money out of them, and let the people feel that if they need anything, this is the place where we have to approach, and these are the people who are going to deliver it to us. And I am going to add into that tissue model for pharmaceutical research, which he has already mentioned that I am going to link all the people, and the drug delivery systems. Because most of these cancer drugs, they are highly toxic. Even the best of the drugs, which comes for 10 to 15 lakhs rupees per person per round of therapy, and a body has to suffer. So 3D printing, excellent opportunities it presents, by which overcoming, circumventing, bypassing the damage to the other cells and tissues, the medicine can be exactly given to the place where the cancerous cells exist. So these are the two areas where we have to be focusing in the next 1 or 2 years time. So far scientists have printed mini organoids and microfluids model of tissues, and also known as the organs on chips. Some of these models are used by pharmaceutical companies to test drug before moving on to animal studies and eventually the clinical trial. And let's fix a deadline of 6 months, next 6 months, when the first organ on chip comes out of this center in a collaborative project with the ESIC Medical College, which is a most emphasized program by the Prime Minister after the pandemic. There are hundreds of medical colleges coming out in the government sector in the country right now, and it is important to link with these setup, because most of them are professors taken from the institutes like All India Institute of Medical Sciences and other premier institutions, and they have very rich experience. Their commitment is unquestionable, and whatever you succeed in there, it is going to be multiplied with very big numbers. My generation has seen the privatization of healthcare. We have seen how Apollo Hospital was made, how Care Hospital was made, how Yashoda Hospital was made. And the coming generation, the students who are students at this point of time, they will be seeing one government hospital and 500 bedded, one government medical college and 500 bedded hospital in every district in 2 to 3 years time from now. So time is changing. So we also have to orient ourselves in such a way that instead of talking to randomly some doctor, some head of the department, some private hospital somewhere, let's go in a focused way. Let's put down our things together, go to the appropriate forums, get it funded by the government, department should become a constant funder. So that 10 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years from now, you are going to have that kind of tree, and the people who are at that point of time, they will enjoy the fruit. So the future belongs to platform ecosystem thinking. The pandemic lockdown has shown that people are working from home for last more than 2 years, and it did not bring down the revenues or the outcomes of a very large part of the industry. So don't consider yourself that I am a faculty and I am teaching in a particular field and that is the class. I mean, that should be not more than 50% of your career. The remaining 50% is that you should use yourself and your students and your knowledge and your innovative potential to work as a part and parcel of a boundaryless system, which will be, because no single organization is going to do this work. It is too complex, it is too big, it cannot be done by the employee of one organization. So wherever the experts are, they have to be linked, they have to be given task, they have to deliver the task, and they have to receive the money. After the collapse of USSR, the Soviet Russia system, many scientists in Ukraine, many scientists in Belarus, many scientists in Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, they become freelancers, and for $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, they will do the design of the subsystem, solve the problem which we used to give them, and in 8 weeks time, 10 weeks time, they will deliver the product and receive their money through bank. So this is what is going to happen in this area also, and we have to, it is the time to make it official. It is time to sort it out in all the bureaucratic forums, and there is nothing wrong in that, there is nothing illegal in that. Don't create a situation that we have to do what is required and we are not able to do because some stupid rule is there, some clause is there, somebody is there who is saying how can you do it. The world is all about what can I do it in my life, and nobody should be able to stop me in what I want to do in my life. And it is in the interest of the organization, whether it is a university or it is a government department or it is whosoever, that they allow their human resources to flourish and to do whatever they can do and make money out of it and take the technology forward, take the state of art forward, become the forward agent of the progress. That is the whole spirit of the new India. In the background you can see one book which I wrote last year. It is called India Wakes. Now India has woken up. A engineering student is not confined just to wait for some PWD department or some irrigation department or some electricity board to give him a job. That's how we did in back in 1980s and 90s. Now even before the graduation is complete, you have placement teams in your campus. There is a wide variety. There are there is such a cross fertilization is taking place that it is you to choose what you want to, which area you want to flourish yourself into. So this is the as far as this area is concerned, that is the main message. Show the next slide, please. So, as I said that we started from now the center is having the metal bioprinting also. Bioprint, it has done a wonderful work to now go into the stem cell taking into and deposited into a tissue structure. Now, this is the work which we have to work, this is the area in which we have to work, and I don't see anything else. This is ready. You are already having all the infrastructure around you. You have to add into this depositing of the stem cell ink part. The remaining things are already available. So let's make a project. Let's submit it to Biorec. And what should be that tissue which should be selected? Let's discuss with the faculty at the ESIC, Medical College, Sanat Nagar. I will organize the meeting and submit the project. And once the project is available, funding is available, this is one of the best university and one of the best department in the country, who, if you want to be delivered in 6 months, it will be delivered in 20 weeks. That is the kind of track record which this university and this team is having. I have been a witness of electronic and communication department. Wherever we wanted them to develop anything in 1980s, before time it was delivered. And it was a way of thank that a beautiful auditorium was gifted to the department for doing excellent work before time. So this is the area which we are going to get into. There is a lot of work going on into vegetable marine biopolymers. We have a National Institute of Oceanography in Goa. It is a CSIR laboratory. I'll connect them to you, and they will provide you this material from the marine source, which can be used as a scaffolding material. And cellular material you can get in Hyderabad, whatever you want, medical college will give you. And then you have to show that this is what we have made. It is living, it is functional, it is working for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. And once you publish that, once you demonstrate that, it is not in lakhs and 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs and all. It is going to be in 10 million, 20 million. It is not going to be in rupees, it is going into the dollars. And this is mark my word. This is what is going to happen through you, by you, and you are going to accomplish it. Please show the next slide. Now, we should focus on the exact, see, it is the one is the bone. Bone is the first thing which is going to come. Second are the tissues, collagens and other connective tissues. And in every disease, it is not that the whole thing has gone wrong. Always it is a minor part, a minor portion, beginning of a problem. And with the modern diagnostic techniques, we can catch all these things very early. So it is going to be mostly not the replacement, but repair. And that should be the focus which we should be working on to that. And in conclusion, please show the last slide. It is a, it is a big area. For example, I have taken, because I spent a lot of time with the cardiologist, it is not the question of making an artificial heart. In that process, you are making the physiology of the heart, where the heart is located, where is the diaphragm, what are the, every heart, everything is how it interferes with the how it adjusts itself with the lungs, and what is the exact position. And after that, the stem cells have to be re-engineering and reprogrammed, and which are the cardiac cells and which are the other cardiac cells. All these cells have to be deposited, separated, and then we have to make the block of the different cells and use them into that integrated way in the 3D printing. And all these things, when they are assembled together, whether they will become an artificial organ or they will repair the organ or what they will do and all that, let that problem and challenge come from the medical side. It is not our problem. आपका पंचर कैसे हुआ, आपने को कोई टेंशन नहीं है, हम पंचर बना के दे देंगे आपको. That should be the spirit. And with that spirit, let's start working. Is a wonderful feeling. All of our lives are to capture the romance of the day, the fashion of the day, what is happening. In 1980s, electronics was happening. In 90s and 2000, computers were happening. And now 3D printing is happening. And those who will miss it, it is like not smelling a flower in the season of the spring or not getting drenched in the feeling of the rain. It will be so unfortunate. So I am very happy that this initiative has been taken. People from multiple engineering colleges are attending this forum, and let us share this dream that from today onwards, a new ecosystem, we are going to work it out. And I am volunteering to connect you with the best of the institutions in the country and in the world. And with these words, I thank you very much, all of you. And it is such a, you make my spirit really, I was a little depressed and what to do and all that. But now after interacting with you, I realized, oh, there is so much is to be done. So with this feeling, I concluded. Thank you very much. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for motivating us and giving us a brief insight on the benefits and applications of 3D printing. Now I request Professor Malini ma'am to please give the vote of thanks. Ma'am, your mic is on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Husna. It is my privilege as the coordinator of the FDP to propose a vote of thanks. On behalf of the department and on my own behalf, I extend a very heartfelt thank you, a big thank you to our chief guest, Dr. Arun K. Tiwari sir, for accepting to be the chief guest and delivering such an inspiring and motivating talk. Sir, thank you for having confidence in us. You have always been a mentor for us and you are like a godfather to our department. Yeah, I must mention our deep sense of gratitude to our principal, Professor Sriram Venkatesh sir, for his valuable address and also extending support to us. And I profoundly thank Dr. Suman, Head BME Department, for extending full cooperation to conduct this workshop. My sincere thanks to AICTE experts for granting us this FDP and also sponsoring the same. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record heartfelt thanks to all the expert speakers for accepting our invitation to deliver the lectures. We are indeed eagerly waiting to listening to them all. I extend my thanks to each and every participant of this FDP, and I hope these 5 days will be fruitful and they will definitely gain a direction to their research in this area. And I also thank all my faculty members and the teaching and the non-teaching staff for supporting me in conducting this workshop. Thank you one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
With this, we come to an end to the inaugural function of the ATIL 3D Printing Academy event.
Yeah, we'll meet at 11:45 for the sessions. Okay, and I also there is a announcement for the participants. The attendance and your performance in the test, which will be conducted on the last day, is essential. So you should have a minimum of 80% attendance and 60% you have to score in the test we are going to give you on the last day. Only then a certificate will be generated on your name. So it is a this is mandatory as a AICTE regulation, and we have to strictly follow them. Okay. Yeah, we'll meet at 11:45 for the lecture. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. We'll be in touch, sir. Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
బట్ రీచ్ చేసిన నెంబర్లు అయితే ఉన్నాయి.